Hey everyone, so this is my video response for unit number 5, and the question asks us to respond to the video that we watched in the forum in the units. And I think that, and what stood out to me the most and the key points, and I think what stood out to me the most is the law aspect of athletics. And in relation to that, I think it's important to understand as a coach personally, how do we approach, in this day and age, coaching and kind of being an assertive individual, or without being sued. And I think that there's a class. I know there's a class in our program that's devoted solely towards athletics and the law, and we use this book. And I mean, this book is pretty big, and there's many different elements and laws that coaches and athletic administrators and even parents should be cognizant of when approaching coaching, or athletics in general. So I think that it's very important to be cognizant of the law and know what approach to take. I know Dr. Marcos was telling us on the first day of instruction, how one of his friends, who's a great guy, didn't mean any harm, touched one of his students, and as a result got sued and, is not able to teach any longer, which is really unfortunate, and I think that there's many different ways, we have to be more and more cognizant of, keeping our space and not being physical in any way, shape, or form. Or I know I had one coach for swimming, and he was telling me that back in the day, he would be able to teach at Downey High School, and he would be able to be a little bit more assertive with students, as a result, as to now, if he were more verbally assertive towards a student, the student would automatically, file a grievance or, go through the dean, and so that wouldn't be ideal. So I think it's important to keep a certain balance. And I know for me personally in coaching, I'm not really a loud guy, and, I'm not one of those guys, those coaches that are like strict. Or I know in our class, we keep it like a relaxed atmosphere. Guys and girls come and work out in the weight room. I give a little bit of a lecture, and I don't like to physically touch students. Just a preference, because because I just don't like to touch students. But what, I show them how to do the technique, the exercises. I demonstrate everything. I think that's important. So I think keeping in shape is important, so we can be able to demonstrate to our students how to do exercises properly, as opposed to explaining it, because sometimes it's easier to see than actually explain it and have them do it. So I think that's important. So I think personally for coaching, it's more being more cognizant of the law, and being more appreciative of the class athletics and the law, which I remember when I was telling Dr. Tanis how overwhelmed I was and how I didn't see this applying really to daily coaching. Now I see it really differently, because it really does apply to our coaching, to know the laws, not necessarily live by them, just to know it in our back of our minds, the importance of a waiver, the importance of keeping physicality, to a minimum, or the importance of liability, and all that's different stuff. So we need to know that in order to practice in our own field. So yeah, that's it.